Yeah. Hair flip, yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip, yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. And hair flipping on these toes. Hi.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to your boy Sean Davey Way. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe on your way in. Tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. As usual, thank you all for your support. Today's video is on the Verzuz battle between Mario and Omarion. There was a pre-show that included Ray J, Pleasure P of Pretty Ricky, Bobby Valentino, and Sammy, which was good, but it was also very bad, especially Ray J.
Yo, say, come on. To my baby's born, 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 to my baby's born. If I had one wish, to my baby, one wish. If I had one wish, one wish, one wish. Sing it. One wish, one.
It was definitely the struggle vocals for everyone. I mean, they were pretty bad. But moving right along, the night was an eventful night, and with most Verzuz battles, a lot of beefs are sparked during, after, and sometimes even before. So we're gonna jump into how Omarion basically got kicked out of B2K all over again over his antics at Verzuz. Omarion shows up to the Verzuz battle against Mario, and he definitely came to perform. Not necessarily sing, but he definitely came to perform. So we're gonna get into what happened with Mario and Omarion during the Verzuz battle, and what sparked a lot of controversy between Omarion and his ex-group members after. During the Verzuz battle, both men came with great catalogs of music. Mario has a great catalog, and so does Omarion. B2K was not a part of the Verzuz battle, but they kept being brought up. Omarion is a solo artist from the group B2K, but he has his own solo music. So there was really no reason for him to play any B2K songs because B2K isn't present. And if a B2K song is going to be played, we were just going to assume, like anybody else that's been a solo artist but in a group, that they would bring the group out to celebrate with them as well. That did not happen. Once again, B2K was not there physically, but they were there in spirit, especially being brought up. Mario brought out impersonators. He also said that Omarion needs B2K in order to be relevant or talent, because Omarion was really dropping the ball when it came to the Verzuz battle between him and Mario. Omarion also played B2K songs and did not bring them there, although he had other special guests. Overall, with the Verzuz battle between Mario and Omarion, Omarion got washed. He definitely lost. This was more so of a vocal competition because it was live performances. If it was just them playing the tracks, then I think it would have been a little bit more even. But since they both have to sing live, Mario's voice was unmatched. So Omarion literally lost in front of the whole world, and that definitely had to be embarrassing for him. And he didn't necessarily take it well, if you ask me. For him to be so unbothered during the Verzuz battle, he was very bothered, and not just by Mario, also by the comments and during the stream, and also by the audience. They were not feeling him. So let's get into the backlash that Omarion got after the Verzuz battle. Omarion slams B2K after Verzuz with Mario. My 3 background dancers have always prayed for my downfall. Omarion may be renowned for his zen demeanor, but it appears the aftermath of that Verzuz showdown with Mario has the star saying "oh" for a multitude of reasons. As reported, the latest installment of the battle series saw the Icebox singer square off with a fellow 2000 launched Kroner. During the spar, Mario brought out B2K impersonators and joked about the group needing to iron out their much publicized differences. Various members of the group reacted on social media by posting a shady clip from The Temptations biopic. Side note, so after the Verzuz battle, Raz B and Little Fizz of B2K posted an old clip of David Ruffin getting kicked out of the Temptations, is what they posted. And they stated in a caption that you got served to Omarion. So they all stated that, hey, you got served. Omarion didn't find that funny. Omarion was upset about them stating this about him. He didn't respond right away, but he did respond later on that day. But before we get into Omarion's response, I find it weird that Omarion is calling them haters and background dancers and things like that within that nature, because it's like Omarion's super full of himself. Because do you really expect these men to back you and defend you and support you when you didn't even do that for them? You haven't backed any B2K member, you're not defending any B2K member, and you also are not supporting any B2K member. You didn't even support them enough to have them come on to the Verzuz battle with you, although you invited other people. You didn't even invite them to come pay homage to the things that y'all all did together. Those are y'all hits collectively. They're not yours by yourself, Omarion. That doesn't make any sense to me. So why do you expect them to support you after you blatantly in front of them, in front of the whole world, basically dismiss them and slap them in the face by not inviting them to the Verzuz? So it's like, what are you even thinking, Omarion? To me, this would have been the namaste time. This would have been the time for you to be unbothered and just not say anything at all, because they could have said worse things. Instead, they just said you got served. So for you to take that to heart, although you were shading them by bringing up people from the movie You Got Served, or people that danced in it and songs from the movie, you're doing all of this stuff, shading them in front of them, but they're supposed to respect you and support you in return. That makes no sense. But moving right along. Responding to the David Ruffin's post, he hit out at my 3 background dancers for praying for my downfall. He also labeled Mario, who has been mocking him in the earnest, his opening act, and blamed an audio malfunction for shaky vocals during the battle. Quick side note before we get into Omarion's full response to the group members. Omarion, Mario was not your opening act. If anything, you were the opening act. Let's just keep it real. You can dance. The performance aspect when it comes to physical is definitely there, but embarrassing yourself, bringing out Watermelon, bringing out your brother, which honestly, Orion, I like him, but he does not matter. He really has no relevance when it comes to the music at all. And then on top of that, stating that it was an audio malfunction for your shaky vocals. No, Omarion, even if you cannot hear yourself, you can still be on key. So let's say Mario is having the same malfunctions when it came to his audio. He still sound incredible. He still sound amazing. So that is an excuse. When you're singing a cappella just out loud, you don't have any of these electronic mechanical forces to help you figure out if you're on key or not, but you still sound good. Think about American Idol auditions and things like that. The people still sound great. So that is an excuse because you can still hear yourself. So if you're off key or if you had a bad note, you can still hear it. So that is an excuse for Omarion to try to make it seem as if he can sing. Omarion, you cannot sing. You have never been a singer. You have more so been a cute guy that can harmonize in a group full of other cute guys. That is what you were, okay? So stop pushing this narrative as if you're like an incredible singing recording artist. You are not. Your vocals were bad because you cannot sing. End of story. Moving right along. Here was Omarion's response after Raz B and Little Fizz posted the Temptations reference. Omarion's quote, "Peace family, I had a photo shoot this morning for my Hello Beautiful magazine cover, so forgive me for being late to the party. I want to take a moment to thank everyone for tuning into Verzuz last night. Thank you After Real Swiss and Timbaland for being trendsetters and providing this incredible platform for artists. I had a great time. Streams going up by the way. Shout out to Mario Worldwide R&B for the win. Looking forward to our next performance on July 29th at the MGM Grand Harbor in Washington, D.C., where you will open for me per usual. And yes, there will be a sound check that date, and this time we won't use your front of the house sound man. I love all of the jokes and opinions. Y'all are hilarious. I'm enjoying the creativity. If you're lucky enough to be in this business for 22 years, you understand that at some point you will experience malfunctions. It comes with being an artist and making yourself vulnerable to the world. But to my 3 background dancers, I'm not surprised because this is how y'all always been. Even while in the group, praying for my downfall. Well, keep praying because I'm overbooked and busy. Meanwhile, y'all gotta get a job other than hating on O. I heard UPS is hiring. Hashtag hating from outside of the club and can't get in. Hashtag book coming soon. Hashtag full circle album coming soon. Hashtag the Verzuz check cleared. Hashtag booked and busy. Omarion and B2K unbothered chose joy. Let's break down this response. So he tries to come for Mario by stating that Mario will be opening for him in Washington, D.C. per usual. Omarion, even if Mario is opening for you, he's still going to sound better. He still sings better than you. He's still a better artist than you. And we know even with you being in this game for 22 years, you haven't had success all 22 years. Omarion, you should have way more money and be way further in your career for someone that's trying to brag as if they are doing so much. How are you doing so much if everything you do in some way, shape, or form B2K or the involvement with B2K comes up? Clearly you're not bigger than the group if you can't get away from the group. Case in point, if somebody sat down with Beyonce right now, they will be talking about Renaissance Act 1, her album, not Destiny's Child, because she has moved beyond that group. Not that she's bigger than the group, she's her own artist, an established artist, and look where Beyonce is. She has the right to sit there and brag coming out of a group as a solo artist doing everything that she's done. Omarion, what have you done again? Hashtag Omelon. Omarion also keeps using sound checks and things like that for the reason to why his vocals were so bad. Once again, Omarion, you are not a singer. You have never been known for singing. You are known for dance. You're not known as a world-renowned artist that has an incredible voice. You're not. You're more so of American-based. You are known in other countries, but you're not a big artist in other countries. You don't have any chart-topping singles or albums in other countries besides America. That's why you do all of your tours. Once again, here that you're trying to shade Mario by calling him an opener for. You're on tour. The tour agency needs other people to be on the tour that has relevance. And as you notice, Omarion, they're bringing Mario to open up for you, not a new upcoming artist for a different type of audience, because that audience doesn't know you. The millennials, they don't really know who you are. They have an idea, but it's more so wrapped around the whole B2K thing. So stop trying to make it seem as if you have a voice. You definitely don't. You can harmonize, but you are no singer. So you got to stop using sound checks and stuff like that as the reason to why you do not have a voice. That comes from birth. You're either born with it or you just simply don't have it. And last I checked, Omarion, you weren't born the day of the Verzuz. So yeah, that makes no sense that you keep blaming it on something that truly has nothing to do with anything. It's not like we couldn't hear you or anything like that, so the sound was really bad. No, it's just that your vocals were bad. It's the same thing with Ray J. We could hear him clearly. The vocals were off, not the microphone, but okay. Omarion calling the other members background dancers. Omarion, I just find it once again hilarious that you are calling them background dancers when you were the same thing. You had a mediocre voice that they put on a track. Out of all of the guys that are there that were singers, especially within the group, which would have been J-Boog and Raz B. Raz B has always had a better voice than Omarion, and Raz B has always been the strongest dancer. And another thing, Omarion came into the group. J-Boog, Little Fizz, Raz B, they were already there, okay? Omarion was kicked out of the group before he did the album Oh and all of that. He makes it seem as if he left. He did not. He was removed from the group by the other members. He absolutely was. So they kicked him out of the group multiple times, okay? Omarion has been kicked out of B2K multiple times, and he tries to make it seem as if the other members have always prayed for his downfall, or they've always treated him some type of way. Omarion, if there are 3 different people with 3 different personalities and all think the same thing about you, that makes you the common denominator. So that means that there was a lot of energy and static coming from your way, not more so of theirs, okay? Because if that wasn't true, then it would have been 3 against 1. It has always been 3 against 1. It's always been the other members against you, because you try to make it seem as if you are so relevant. Besides having all of the leads in the songs, which the other members of the group had no choice what Chris Stokes gave you, because he could have gave those same leads to the other members within the group. He definitely could have, and it would have made you guys more equal, but that's not the narrative that Chris Stokes was trying to push. He was trying to pin you guys against each other, and he did just that. So for you to know who the true enemy is, which is Chris Stokes, and you still try to blame it on the other members as if they were jealous of you, why would they not be? If I'm in a group, I have talent, I can't showcase my talent because my manager feels like this one should be. That is not fair, okay? It isn't. They're not in the group to just be, you know, the background dancers, and you've always known that. So I think, Omarion, you went too far calling them background dancers as if you were the Whitney Houston of the group. You're not talented yourself. It was 4 cute guys inside of a group that everybody liked. There's been plenty of groups that have had horrible singers but cute guys, so the groups made it further just based off of looks and dance and style and swag. And that was the same thing with B2K. The same thing. If you guys were ugly, B2K would have never made it as far as they did. They would never have. And let's not forget that the core of the success comes from the group B2K, not Omarion. Stop making it seem like B2K did not blow up until Omarion did. No, it all happened at the same time. It's no different than the group IMX Immature. Cute guys, but there's no true talent within the group. Marcus Houston is an okay singer, but he's not like a great singer. If you listen to Immature's music, especially back in the day, in the early 90s, they were horrible. Their voices were bad. The songs were bad. I mean, literally, it was horrible if you really go back and look at it, but they were cute. They had swag. They had style. They were different. So that's why they blew up. That's what made people like Immature. It was more so of the swag and whatnot, and the dancing and stuff like that. It had nothing to do with actual talent, because they were bad. If you truly go back and listen, they were bad. So it was more so due to influence over talent, you know, within that time. Their influence outweighed their talent, because if you literally just pinned talent on most of these people, a lot of them would not be liked. If you don't simply like an artist because of their talent, then that speaks volumes. If you like Cardi B, but you love her personality, she's funny, she's this, she's that, okay, well, what does that have to do with her music? Do you truly even like her music, or do you like her as a social media influencer? So it's like separating the two. And back then we didn't have IG and, you know, all of that stuff, so we couldn't separate the two. It was more so of a fuse. So when we saw them being interviewed on a show like 106 in Park or TRL or something like that, that was the closest we got to being in their lives and to seeing their day-to-day or hearing what they think, you know, type of situation. So yeah, if you truly go back and listen to that music, it was bad. And it's the same thing with B2K. There was a lot of music that they came out with that was bad. If you listen to Omarion's vocals on songs like Why I Love You, Gots to Be, his vocals are bad. It's just, he's an okay harmonizer. So since he can harmonize, it was a little bit easier to listen to, but it's not like, oh my gosh, she's so great, oh, I love this note. Or, no, that's not what the fans were getting from B2K. Great singing talent. No, that's not. It's more so they're attractive, they can move their bodies, and they have swag. That's what blew up B2K, not talent. And for talent not to make the group go to #1, Omarion, what does that say about you if these were your background dancers? It was your job to make the group hot, make the sound hot. You did not do that. It was a collective thing, so cut it out. Omarion has been kicked out of the group B2K multiple times. And one would wonder, well, how could Omarion get kicked out of the group if he's even claiming himself he is the group by calling these other men of the group B2K his background dancers? So how is that not insult to injury if you think about it? This is our group. Not only is he calling us the background dancers, he's trying to make it seem as if he started the group or, it belongs to him. It doesn't. This is our product. We came to him with a formula that we already had. Basically saying we added him into something that was already formed. He was not the leader or anything like that, but that's how Omarion tries to boast, as if I am the group. So let's get into Raz B dropping paperwork from their attorney that states that Omarion is no longer a group member of B2K. There has been plenty of internal drama between the members of B2K over the years. Now it looks like another potentially explosive situation is bubbling up between Omarion and Raz B. On Saturday, June 25th, Raz B shared an email from their attorney, Alan Jacoby, revealing Omarion is no longer an official member of the group. He wrote in a since-deleted Instagram caption, "Omarion, you've been out of the group. Bruh, it's amazing how you think everyone F's with you. Chris Brown didn't even come out on your last LA set. The industry talks, lil' man." As Jacoby explained in the letter, at your request, I have researched the trademark issues surrounding the departure of Omarion Granberry from the group B2K, and you three gentlemen, Raz B, Little Fizz, and J Boog, whom are the remaining members of B2K. The split reportedly took place in 2019 after the mother of Omarion's child, April Jones, began sleeping with his B2K bandmate, Little Fizz. During the opening night of the 2021 edition of the Millennium Tour, Fizz paused the show to publicly apologize to Omarion for dating Jones. Fizz's quote, "I did some effed up-ish to my brother," Fizz says in the clip. "I did some snake ASS-ish and I'm not proud of it. So I want to sit here humbly and sincerely apologize to you for any turmoil or dysfunction I caused between you and your family." Omarion accepted the apology, saying, "All good." Between the two and the show continued. Let's do a breakdown. So Raz B posts a letter from their attorney, the group's attorney, B2K's attorney, stating at Raz B's request, he wanted Omarion Granberry removed from the group B2K and their trademarks. That was granted. So Omarion, since 2019, has not been a part of B2K. Earlier, around the 2003 to 2005 era, around that time, he got kicked out of the group then too. They removed Omarion from the group. Fizz, J Boog, and Raz B were all doing their own thing. They collectively, and was even considering adding a different group member at the time. So this isn't the first time that they removed Omarion from the group. So for Omarion to go on Verzuz and play B2K, it's like, you're not even a part of the group anymore. Like you have no dealings with us. You're not a part of our trademark, really any of the music or whatnot. So why are you even playing the music? You're not even a group member at this point in time. This all took place around the time that April Jones, which is the mother of Omarion's children, started sleeping with the Little Fizz, which is Omarion's bandmate. So everyone knows all the controversy that was going around at that point in time, all the confusion and drama, but Omarion stayed namaste, he stayed unbothered, and that's kind of how he got the nickname Mr. Unbothered. So Omarion did not leave the group, he was removed from the group per the group's request. They can do this because the group belongs to them. It does not belong to Omarion, okay? You would think so because of how he tries to make it seem as if there would be no B2K without him. There would be no B2K without B2K. All people played a part, everyone in the group. It was a collective effort. It was not just one person. And remember, Omarion was not the greatest singer. So yeah, this was a collective thing, more so swag, a new experience, a new type of boy band type of situation, and Omarion helped contribute to that. Well, that being said, I cannot be biased. So I know I've been a little hard on Omarion throughout this video, but at the same time, I can side with him too. And when I side with him, let's do another breakdown. Let's start with why Omarion has every right not to like these other group members. Let's start with Little Fizz. Fizz not only slept with the mother of Omarion's children, I'll say that again, the mother of Omarion's children. He also back in the day took Jennifer Freeman, an actress from You Got Served and a lot of other things, projects that she was in. Omarion was dating her first, and Little Fizz, just like April, he went and kind of took her from Omarion. He started dating her while Omarion was, and then kind of walked away from the situation with Jennifer. For them to break up, they still ended up breaking up, but still, that was very conniving, very snakish, and friends don't do that to friends, but I feel that Little Fizz was doing that because of how he felt that Omarion treated them, because the star is treated better, and Omarion was the frontman of the group. So there was a lot of things and attention that Omarion got that the other group members didn't, and they felt that they were working just as hard. So I completely understand why they had this rift, and if you can't beat them, join them type of situation. I can't beat you and become the star, so I'm going to be the star by removing certain things from you and get attention for it. So, and then later on, once the group got back together, he kind of did the same thing with April Jones. He got with her after Omarion. They have children, so it's like, why even do this besides the fact of there's just a grudge? Little Fizz did that deliberately, if you ask me. It was on purpose. He wanted to hurt Omarion because he's felt that Omarion has hurt him. We have J-Boog. J-Boog and Omarion overall have gotten along pretty well. They've had their ups and downs. They've had their issues. Just as of recently, J-Boog responded to Omarion with this essay of things to say. I get it, but it's really long, so I don't want to read it because it's really long. But shout out to J-Boog. I get why he feels certain type of way about Omarion. I definitely get it. And how he feels that the industry has definitely pegged them against each other. On top of those issues, let's start with how J-Boog allegedly slept with Omarion's mother. Okay? Not the mother of his children like Fizz did. J-Boog allegedly slept with Omarion's mother. And I believe that J-Boog did that out of the same thing. I think that he was hurt by Omarion. I think that Omarion really made them feel some type of way. Instead of them truly doing certain things together, Omarion would just take the lead of everything. You know, literally any deal that was being offered, instead of Omarion thinking of B2K, Omarion was thinking of Omarion. So they feel like he's always been like that. And since he's been that way, it's kind of hard to want to look out for someone or befriend someone or truly be brothers with somebody in a forced situation. They didn't choose technically who was going to be within the group, but they still had to deal with the people that were there. So it's unfortunate. And I do think that J-Boog did that out of being hurt by Omarion as a way of getting back at him, as a way of having something over him, something to make him feel less than how he's felt, how they feel like Omarion makes them feel small. I feel like J-Boog wanted to do the same thing. Then you have Raz B, somebody that has came forward and stated his trauma and the things that he's went through within this group, but he also pulled other people in the midst of all of the drama and chaos as well. So, and that's another thing with Omarion. He never really wanted to be involved with the stories that have came out about SA and other things. He wanted no involvement. He's been extremely quiet about it. And Raz B kind of forced his story out there instead of letting Omarion say whatever he wants to state about what allegedly happened himself. And then you got Raz B kicking him out of the group. So I would understand why Raz B will want to kick Omarion out the group, is to show him that you're not running things. Like, everything is not about you. This is a group effort. I love B2K, not Omarion. Omarion loves Omarion instead of B2K. And Raz B has always been a huge advocate for B2K and wanting B2K to be successful and wanting them to be a collective out there as a group like they were when they were teenagers. And you have somebody like Omarion that is taking all of the energy from the group B2K, because he'll go to Verzuz and they'll be like, oh, B2K, B2K, B2K. But it's like, no, it's not about that. It's about Omarion. So B2K really shouldn't even be coming up. And then when it does come up, you don't even include us. And this is our group, our band, and you're not even a band member. So I get why Omarion would have some type of rift with Raz B, and I get why Raz B will have a rift with Omarion, because they feel like you kind of came in and just stole all of the clout and all of the light from all of us when this was supposed to be a 4 type of situation. You turned it into a 1. So there is a lot of drama between these men. I absolutely get why Omarion will want nothing to do with these men. Like I've stated, you got one member that slept with the mother of my children. You got another member that allegedly slept with my mother. And then you got another member that doesn't even want me in the band, that keeps kicking me out. So I would completely see why he wants nothing to do with these men and why he would say, why would I want them there? Why would I want them around me? I don't want to be around any of these men. So them coming to Verzuz is out of the question. Well, Omarion, it should have been in the question. You should have thought about it more before you came forward with your set of music. If you're going to play B2K at Verzuz, everyone is going to assume that they're going to make an appearance. So it would have been better to not play the music at all, because you could have avoided a lot. But also you have people like us that are on the outside looking in. Mario is one of those people too. So when he's on the Verzuz stage stating, bringing out impersonators like, I know you and your boys got a lot of stuff to work out, it may seem funny to us, but I can understand why that would not be funny to Omarion. Once again, one of these members slept with the mother of my children. One of these members allegedly slept with my mother, and the other one doesn't even want me in the band, really, at all. So, dude, that's nothing to joke about. It's nothing to laugh at, but we're on the outside looking in. So we don't understand the situation in its entirety. So that's why we look at it differently. It's more so of a joke than a this is my life type of situation. So shout out to all of the members of B2K, Raz B, Little Fizz, Omarion, Boog. Shout out to all of you. I hope you truly can work it out one day. I understand if you can't, because some things just can't be forgiven. But let me know in the comments and what you guys think about Omarion not being a member of B2K. So if you take anything from this video, take that Omarion is not a part of B2K. He is no longer a member. How do y'all feel about that? Can B2K survive without Omarion, or is B2K already over? Let me know. Until the next video, I love you all. Like and subscribe. Bye.